You guys, I am so excited with our next guest, Mr. Travis Parker, not Barker, the drummer from Blink 182. It is
Yeah,
Travis
yeah.
Parker, hairdressing made easy. How are you?
I'm so good, so good. I love the introduction. It almost makes it sound more important if we throw his name with my name.
Oh,
It does.
100,
Yeah,
100.
it's a crowd pleaser.
Have you tried to like reach out to him and be like, "Bro, let me do your hair?"
Well, I mean, first of all, I think is he bald? Does he shave his head,
I think
or
he shaves his head, but like, come on.
he's from San Diego, which is where I'm based. So he's right here. And then one of my clients that's been a client for like almost 30 years was the band manager of Blink back in the day. And so we totally have, it's not even 6 degrees of separation. We totally have,
No.
I don't know, 1 degree of
You're
separation.
like
Like it's,
literally orbiting each other. Like you
yeah,
have the same name. Like, come on.
I know. I just need to start using that name for like reservations and VIP seats. And the host will be so let down though when I show up.
I'll be
And
like,
I'm like,
oh.
no, I said Parker. And they're like, oh, oh, okay.
So if you guys are listening or watching, you need to follow Travis's Instagram because I die laughing at your reactions of these videos. And I just need to know like what made you start doing that? Because I think I saw one and you were like in a hoodie drinking your coffee and you're just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like what brought that on? Like why do those?
You know what? It's kind of an interesting story, and I'm glad we're starting there. It's funny that
Perfect.
it's become a thing in my world because it was never intentional.
Yeah.
But at like anything, when you start to understand what's triggering an audience, what's growing an audience, what's increasing engagement, impressions, interaction, following, I mean, the whole thing, you start to pay attention to it, right? So everything for all of us is about throwing darts and seeing what sticks. And then when it
Hmm.
does, testing it in other ways on other platforms to see if it works there as well. And so it started back in the day. I worked with a marketing agency called Edit
Okay.
Butter, a guy named Ryan Chisessi that runs it.
Yes, he was on the
Dude,
show.
Ryan was on the show?
Yes.
Oh, that's my boy. Yeah.
Yes. I was looking at your graphics and I'm like, I know these graphics. Anyway, let me just keep going. And okay, yes, Ryan was on
Yeah,
the show.
Ryan, I've been working with Ryan now since 2021, 2022, kind of right in there.
Okay.
And we had 13K followers when I started working with Ryan. Now we're at 105,000. So
Yeah.
it's been complimentary to understand my weaknesses, to
Yeah.
delegate them. And
Yeah.
he and I have just been a great fit. We've really worked it out.
He's
But to your
awesome.
question, at one point he's like, Trav, like you can speak to the technical language of cutting. Why don't you start breaking down some of your friends' haircuts that are on IG in a technical sense? And I was like, well, that's like kind of a dumb idea. And
Okay.
I was so like not interested. I was like, nah, dude, like that's like I don't want to like make people feel like they don't know what they're
Right.
talking about. So I'm
Yeah.
putting words into their incredible artistry.
Hmm.
And so I was kind of resistant initially. And then I just started thinking about it. And so I just one night I tried it. My son was downstairs and I went upstairs into my room and sat at the desk and I just did it. And the video was so fast, like, it's cropped so quickly that I found myself not being able to keep up with the video. And then I would do it again. And this was sort of a VO, right?
Yeah.
So little picture in picture VO.
Yeah.
And I would do it again, and still couldn't keep up with it. And I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is moving. Can I cuss?"
Yes. Real
Okay,
and raw. Real and raw
okay.
here.
Sorry, it's really hard not to. And so, yeah, yeah. And so I started to do it, and then I finally got one, and then I watched it again after I had sort of like got through it, and got through it. That's not good grammar. And I was like, shit, it's kind of funny. Like I sound like this like horse announcer, like an auctioneer. Like it's really like kind of laughs. And so I chose some of my friends that were like good homies that I
Yeah.
knew wouldn't care. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, do you mind if I do this? And they're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I did it and we did a couple of them and people started cracking up. And up until then, it was just straight hair content. Like it was me cutting hair behind the
Yep.
chair, it was me on stage or me in a classroom.
Yeah.
And it would sort of it was kind of it was either crickets or maybe just a soft sort of like clap in the background.
Hmm.
And this really like hit and people were like, dude, that's funny. And so then I started doing more people. And that's really how it started, like about a year and a half ago, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it started like just turning into like, this is fun and it's easy. Like for me, I had already had, I've been a hairdresser for 37 years and I've been
Hmm.
training and teaching for 25 years and I've been developing content with brands for, I don't know, almost that whole time.
Yeah.
And then I wrote Hairdressing Made Easy and the methodology and the system to that, which I'm assuming we'll talk about at some point.
Yeah.
But it's a full like curriculum. Like it's the Bible of cutting.
Hmm.
It, it's really pretty thorough. And so we have a full glossary of terms that are terms that we've used in the industry forever. And then what
Hmm.
we couldn't find as commonly used terms and terminology, we started to put our voice into it, our sort of proprietary language into it. And so I had already had all that. And so when it started happening, it was again, it was funny and it stuck and people were engaged in it. And then it just sort of spilled into other things because it was fun. And I try to keep it positive. Every once in a while, I'm a little bit like appalled or like shocked
No, it's
or
so funny.
like
It's so
confused
funny.
or I mean, there's a lot of emotions that display. And I don't ever watch them once and then do it. Like I do it legit.
And you just post it?
Yeah, so like as you know, maybe you do, maybe
Perfect.
you don't. Our audience maybe does, maybe doesn't.
Yeah.
Not every video can you react to. Like
Yeah.
people that are posting the video have to give others permission in order to do a remix, at least is what it's called on
Right.
IG.
Yeah.
And and so not always can you do a remix. So immediately I'll check to see if it's a remix. And then if it is, then I'll just sort of check it out to see if it's music to the video or if it's somebody talking to the video. So I can sort of see how to interact with it so that
Hmm.
it's not just 80 people talking at once and you don't have a voice in it. And so yeah, so I sort of checked it out and then it's pretty candid. Like it's genuine and now we try to do anywhere between 1 to 5 a day.
It's
Like
perfect. That is
we're just sort
so
of
perfect. Okay, so
we're just flying with it.
do you do these at your house or do you do it in the salon, in your office
Yeah.
in the salon, and like do people hear you like
I do
cracking
it anywhere I can. I do it from right here at my dining room table to right over there where my couch is, to my son's soccer practices, to
Stop
at the
it.
salon, to on in terminals when I'm flying around because I fly like every 2 to 3 weekends a month.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I do it wherever I can. Last night, I actually brought my little DJI mini mic with me to a soccer arena that my son was going to be playing a game, and then there was a like a pro match after that, and
Yeah.
I was going to sneak off to like an area in the seats where I could just do like a talking head video and be in this sort of like less
Oh
expected
my
environment,
God.
but with good audio. And then I ended up not being able to pull away because friends, we ended up chatting the whole time.
Sure.
But yeah, I bring my mic everywhere. It's always sort of on. I take walks every day
That is
down here by
hilarious.
a lagoon and I will talk to my phone constantly.
I mean, it's kind of
I'm the
inspiring,
weirdo
honestly.
in public that people laugh at, for sure.
No shame, and I am so here for it.
Well, nobody cares anyways, right? Like
I mean,
people
at
will
least
look at
now.
you.
Yeah.
What's that?
At least these days, like they're like, oh, another one, and they just like
Yeah.
keep going.
I mean, you're not important in their life. So they're going to laugh for like 30 seconds and then an hour later, they're going to forget that they even saw you.
Yeah.
So part of our role in building a business is showing up and doing what you need to do, right? And not
Hmm.
caring what people think. Because at the end of the day, it takes that courageous nature to push past everything in life and to push past the static and the comments and the critiques and the fear people throw at you that they have that they throw at you like daggers and you're like
I
nah, just
love
keep it to
this.
yourself, keep it over there, just do what you got to
Yes.
do,
I
just
love
stay in your
that
lane.
because that is all mindset right there. That is mindset
100%.
work. So when you first started doing these in public, were you like, oh my
Sorry,
God, let me just
I'm
do it? Or
laughing.
were you like totally like going for it and be like, I could care less? Like, how did you overcome that? Because that's a fear for a lot of people.
But Do you mind if I give just a like a
Go,
minute or two of background?
go.
So my number one fear on the planet was public speaking, getting in front of people, having a voice, having an opinion, having a question that didn't I didn't feel was dumb. My whole life until I was probably in my mid 20s did I start to tackle this anchor that held me back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so every step that I make is a step that I'm scared to make, and that I'm a bit out of my league when I'm starting to kind of take the first couple footprints in the sand with it. And yeah, so initially with everything, there was that fear of being
Mm-hmm.
judged, but that's part of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is understanding that a comment's not going to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a risk, you may fall, but you can always get up. And part of the development in life is those moments, right? If in order for me to tell a great story, that great story has to come with agony. That great story has to
Mm.
start at the bottom. And the struggle is part of what makes it, what humanizes it, what
Mm-hmm.
makes it real. And what lets everybody know that we all go through something. But I definitely am always like having some kind of fucked up thing in my head going, Trav, like you're an
Yeah.
idiot. Like this is ridiculous. Like, what are you doing? Stay in your lane, stay
Yeah.
comfortable. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
I love that. Yes. Oh. Okay.
And
So
the
you,
older I get, the more confident I become with it because here I am, right? I'm
right.
54. I've been at this for a minute and I keep getting older. My audience keeps staying the same age. And so now I have the fear of being too old and people being like, "Hey, grandpa, like go home." And so
No
now that's
way.
that's the thing that I'm always, working with is like staying relevant and
Staying
staying
relevant.
connected and being who I am, which is that of one with experiences now
Yeah.
that I can share. So
Yeah. Okay. So, and you have a salon, right? You have
I do.
employees and all that. Okay.
No, I don't have employees at all.
No, just you.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Tell us about
Yeah.
that. Because that seems to be a trend, right? Like you have them all, a whole big salon, and then a lot of people are also like, you know what? I let everybody go. I want to be by myself. So, like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally. I opened my first salon in 2003
Mm-hmm.
and built out this really awesome spot. We had a lot of different people that worked for us. I think, well, for me, 25 was, I think, the most that we had at
Mm-hmm.
one point. I went through a number of different stages with it, trying to figure out the best business model, the best way to be a leader, the best way to be a business owner, the best way to
Mm-hmm.
be a hairdresser still to my clients.
Yeah.
And I found that I was really good at certain things and I was really bad at certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I was really bad at, I found that I didn't really have the capital to outsource to people that were really good at it. The people
Mm-hmm.
that were really good at it were sort of out of my league in regards to what I could pay them or what they deserved or what they were requiring. And so, in that stage, I also opened up a nail boutique, and
Mm-hmm.
my son's mom and I had a nail boutique
Mm-hmm.
at one point here in San Diego. That's still there. We sold it 80 million years ago, but it's still there. And needless to say, it was a whole thing. And so in 2013, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere right in that range, if 13, 14. I decided that it just wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
It was bad for my marriage and, because I was taking it home and I was stressed and I was losing who I think I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in that stage where I was always blowing out the largest fire and never proactively working. I wasn't happy. I was
Mm-hmm.
sort of losing my love for hair, which was the core of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And so my decision to go with an independent salon was like, I'm that's what I'm best at. Let
Yeah.
me cut out the things in my life that I'm not very good at, that I'm
Mm-hmm.
not able to delegate to high levels, and just focus on what I do well. And so I
Yeah.
rented an apartment in a commercial district in Solana Beach, San Diego.
Uh-huh.
And it's this rad old Spanish building, and it was someone's apartment. And I wanted you to feel when you came to my spot that you were stepping into my house. And it was a decision to not have assistants anymore and not double book anymore after 20 plus years. of
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And so it was truly a one-on-one service. And the whole Sola Salon and Phoenix salons, like all that shit hadn't really started to bust out in
Right.
a big way yet. So
Yeah.
it was not a decision based upon what was trending in the industry. It was
Hmm.
just like what suits me, what fills my
Right.
cup, and like where could my soul live in a way that brings me back into hair.
Hmm.
And I've had the spot now for 14 years. During COVID, I had already started my education company.
Yeah.
And so during COVID, I basically smashed half the apartment and built a film studio in it. And I started a subscription video service with our content. And
What?
then now we just sell our videos independently. But needless to say, um, you know, it like everything in my career has been like, okay, do it, assess it. Is it working? If it's not, change it.
Mm,
And that's sort of how I've rolled forever. And now I've got this beautiful space. I'm there only 6 days a month with clients.
that's amazing.
Um, in July, it's going down to 4 days a month with clients. And at some point, it will probably be no days a month with clients, if not just
Hmm.
maybe privates here and there.
Yeah.
And then, with a full focus on my consulting business and my education business.
That is very, very cool. When do you know? Because a lot of the salon owners who watch, when do you know when something isn't working, right? Like I feel like a lot of us continue on being like, no, we just got to do this one thing and then it'll work and then it'll work. And then before we know it, like 20 years have gone by and it has not worked.
Yeah.
So how do you
Yeah.
know when it's time to be like, this is not working?
You know, it's a fair question. And I'm not sure I have the right answer
Hmm.
for anybody, even myself, to be honest,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's just sort of a feeling and sometimes
Hmm.
that thing just hits you that needs to hit you to all of a sudden sort of make you realize that you need to pivot.
Yeah.
And not everything has to be dramatic as well. Like it can be just a trajectory. You pitch 1 degree and then
Hmm.
maybe serendipitously or simultaneously run both things until you can sort of hop over to the other thing. So it's not like you've got to take a sledgehammer to things when they're not working. But I think uh, accountability, I think, has a big part to do with it in regards
Hmm.
to like, okay, when I go to sleep every night, I sit on my, and this is for real. Like I sit on my pillow. I don't sit on my pillow. Put my head on my pillow. I sit on my pillow. It's so
Gotta
cozy.
warm it up,
Um,
you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just my weird routine. No, I put my head on my pillow, and I know a lot of us do this. I go through what I'm grateful for,
Yeah.
and what I'm grateful for can be positive, it can be negative, it can be
Hmm.
big, it can be small. It could be even down to like, I'm grateful to have my head on this pillow right now and to have a
Yeah.
roof over my head. I'm grateful to have my son. I'm grateful to have a business.
Hmm.
But what I find is that if I'm not grateful for the thing that I'm focused on, being part of that moment of grounding my day, grounding my moment
Hmm.
in life,
Hmm.
if I start to recognize it's falling less in that sort of queue of things,
Hmm.
then there's some assessment. And I'll just be candid right now, and this is something that I'm currently working on, so it's not even really announced.
We
But
got
I'm
the
starting,
scoop. We got the scoop. I'm so excited. Go
yeah,
ahead.
this
Go
is
ahead.
some tea right here. Um, but I have found that I continue to hire professionals that are consultant groups to come in and help me with different things, which
Mm,
is, I think, a mandatory thing that we do
yeah.
when we're growing a business because we can't know everything.
Hmm.
You're going to become an expert upon what you've practiced, rehearsed, failed in, found answers to, applied them, and seen success. Everything else, you're sourcing other people's wisdom.
Hmm.
And so you can be like, okay, well, I'm good at that, but are you an expert at it? And so
Right.
again, what I started to discover was that there was continuous things that I was using consultants to help to defragment processes in
Mm.
my business with an
Hmm.
education company. And they would come in, they would give me some great advice, some shitty advice, regardless.
Hmm.
They would give me a bill, I pay them,
Be like,
and
oh
then
my God, thank
and
you.
then they were gone, right?
Yeah.
And so they gave me the roadmap, but without somebody there holding my hand, implementing those processes, implementing the employees needed to run those processes. I was sort of given a script, but still with a lack of experience in it.
Mm.
And I found that I was paying out quite a bit to consultants, but then I was sitting on information that I wasn't able to implement in
Yeah.
a successful way. And what I started to discover was like, yo, if I'm paying somebody 10 grand for this information and they give me this incredible information, the right person to resource to facilitate running this information is probably the consulting group
Mm.
that I hired to give me the information.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to myself, if I was to pay somebody that had that level of experience and knowledge in it, I'd be looking at paying somebody six figures a year to run this division of, say, my sales, sales management position, or
Mm-hmm.
marketing division, or our digital division,
Right.
or our, I don't know, it could be anything.
Right.
Uh, our operations division, our development of content position,
Right.
whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it would cost me an amount of money that I don't make enough to pay a bunch of people six figures a year. Like, well, that's just not where we're at.
Right.
And so I have information that needs an expert to actually facilitate it. And so what I would do is I would hire somebody that was interested in a position like that, maybe a little bit of experience in it. I was paying them pennies, but then I was finding that we weren't using the information in an effective way, and it was taking a long
Mm.
time, and time became money. And
Yes.
so as I started to kind of do this, I've recently been talking to a consulting group, and I was like, you know what? I keep fucking talking to these people that are giving me all this fucking information. And at the end of the day, what I do is I'm a consultant. And so here I'm trying to sell a product. Why don't I make my product my consulting?
Mm.
And I teach team facilitation courses. I teach individual public speaking courses. I work with education companies on helping them audit their systems so that they're more strategic as they lay out their collections,
Mm-hmm.
as they build their maps and roadmaps to how they're going to train their educators to go out to the field, how we oversee those people when they're out in the field. And they hire me to kind of come in and do these different things while I do all my other stuff. But I'm like, oh shit, like I'm already a consultant, but I've narrowed it all down to trying to sell a hair product and hair curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
and then realizing that I already actually do this other thing on the side that's making me a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I just go in and I give them my ideas. I work with them for a bit, and then I sort of walk back over to my company, and then I try to build it, and I don't make as much. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, maybe I need to be more focused on helping other people grow
Mm-hmm.
because like my salon, maybe I'm just not the best business person. Maybe I'm not.
Mm.
And here I am
Right.
at the ripe old age where I'm like, yo, like I've got AI, I've got a shit ton of
Yeah.
experience with hair, which if I translate hair to interpersonal skills and working with other humans, I've got a
Yes.
tremendous advantage in a consulting world to
Mm-hmm.
understand what compels people to act upon information,
Yeah.
to speak in front of a camera, to speak in front of a small group, to speak in front of a large group. I have all of these processes in place of helping people overcome their
Yeah.
fears with public speaking, which, as I said, was my number one phobia, but
Yes.
having to fucking get through that and figure out that it wasn't about me, it was about them. And the key things that helped me find authenticity and charisma in front of others and structure my words and enunciate, and pause and slow
Yeah.
down and speed up. These were assets now that if I packaged them in a specific way, maybe that's all of it has led me to this point of now making this decision. So back
Mm-hmm.
to your question of like, Trav, like when do you know when to quit? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure it's really a moment. And that's why I
Yeah.
said I don't know if I really have a real answer.
Yeah.
But I do know that with a sense of awareness to what's happening, of what's successfully filling your cup and what's not, what you're grateful at the end of the day for, and what you fucking want to like smash your head against the wall because of, listen to those things. And
Mm-hmm.
then as the world starts to go, hey, look, this is something, listen to it and say yes to things.
Exactly.
Fucking be
Exactly.
uncomfortable, like struggle.
Yes.
Like that's again part of what makes your story great. And at the end of the day, I'm just here to sort of write a great story, enjoy the journey, and
Yeah, like just
hopefully
share.
hang out
Yeah.
with rad people. Like, yeah,
Yeah. That is
So we
so
may be starting a
incredible.
consulting group. That's something we're currently working on right now. And
It's
I'm
very
looking
cool.
to go well outside of my industry,
That
like
is
well out of the
so
cosmetic
funny.
industry.
That is so funny. Like being in this industry, we speak to a lot of people, we meet a lot of people, and like the beauty industry is a wonderful industry, right? Like it is the best, I personally feel. But it's almost like we get to this point in our careers that we're just like, I want to try something else. And that sounds like what you're doing, and it's, I feel, a beautiful thing. Um so I just want to throw that out there. But then you have hairdressing made easy. And I just kind of want to bring it back to that really quick because you're thinking about doing this consulting, which is a fabulous. But then you have hairdressing made easy, which kind of was like the forerunner to this new idea that you have, right? So
100%.
how did it feels like you just kind of stumbled on these things and you're going with it and you're enjoying it. So how did hairdressing made easy come about, and like what are you going to do with that?
Well, I mean, fortunately, I'll sort of tell you the end and then I'll back up.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have it worked out so that the majority of it sort of runs in the background. Like I've got it
Yeah.
set up in a very automated sense. And
Cool.
we've got a lot of our video content that just sort of runs on our LMS, which is our video-based software that
Hmm.
allows you to access information. We if I so that's sort of it. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, for the most part, it runs itself. It's
So it's
very effective.
autopilot.
We've got the
Cool.
script already in place. We've got our salon certification processes in place and packages that salons can buy into that help to give them ongoing education, onboarding education,
Hmm.
gives them a teacher script, like what we call a teacher's guide to our curriculum, which is the
Hmm.
what, the why, the when. You teach what you teach.
Hmm.
That helps you build a common language in your salon. We've got it set up so that it helps you figure out based upon how much education you're committed to as a salon owner with your group. Like we do classes once a month,
Yeah.
so that's 12 a year. We sort of work with you on how you would implement that based
Hmm.
upon once a month training. If it's cutting training that you're doing once a month, if it's color and cutting, you alternate them, then you got 6 trainings and we help you sort of divvy it up. So it's all pretty figured out. It's pretty streamlined, to be
Hmm.
honest, at this
Hmm.
point. It's pretty clutch. The ongoing processes that are needed is just awareness and sales and marketing. And everything else is pretty much good to go. But what brought the whole thing along was at that time that I started writing all this, like 8, 9 years ago, I was working with L'Oreal Professional.
Hmm.
And in that relationship that I was in for about 17, 18 years with them, I learned a fucking ton about a ton of things,
Hmm.
and not just hair, but operations, about
Yeah.
divisions, about allocation of funds, about funding period,
Mm.
about 1 year to the next year with
Yeah.
allocation of funds, about what teachers get paid, what they don't get paid, what our industry can afford, what it can't afford, what salons can afford, what individuals can afford when it comes to education. Their whole processes, if you kind of
Hmm.
just listen, you've got a lot to learn. And that's why I always tell
Exactly.
people, I'm like, don't bash fucking brands. Go learn what you can from everybody.
Yeah.
And you take from all and you put it together in your way, and you're a genius.
Hmm.
So every environment that you can involve yourself in. And what feels right to you, take it and apply it to your process.
Hmm.
And so working with them for 18 years, again, I learned a lot, but I also started to learn with that relationship, and then simultaneously social starting to become a thing, and hairdressers that were famous because they worked with brands were no longer famous because they worked with brands. Influencers that were getting hype on social were starting to become famous to our hairdressers. But what was happening was people were becoming famous that hadn't had a process in place of explaining their artistry. They
Right.
became famous for marketing and whatever that was for. They did fucking
Hmm.
rad blow dries. They did famous people. They
Right.
had cool tattoos. They were hot. Whatever it was.
Right. They were hot. They breathed
They-
air.
yeah, hot people.
Yeah.
It's just not my. I guess it's just my opinion. Hot people seem to sell
Yes.
more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an observation.
Tis
I
true.
didn't do it. It's not my fault. And so I was finding that a lot of these people were becoming famous, but then when we put
Yeah.
them in front of an audience to teach an audience either a technique or why they were famous, they hadn't had the opportunity with education to really learn how to explain their artistry in a technical way. They
Mm.
hadn't had the opportunity to learn how to teach. And teaching and being good at hair have fucking nothing to do with each other. And that is a misconcept in an era of independent education. And so I was like, yo, like, what if I build a brand that focuses on the architecture and the physics of cutting hair because I know how to
Cool.
develop content and I know what things are called and I help my friends that are influencers have a language to explain their artistry.
Hmm.
And we'll become that brand that just sort of has content that helps people fucking explain their amazingness,
Yeah.
real words.
I love it.
Uh,
I love it.
and that's kind of how it started. And then it started with in-person trainings. And, my lab rats were hairdressers, and I just did the classes for free. And I was like, come and tell me if it fucking sucks or if it's
Yeah.
rad or like, what we need to switch out or keep in, whatever.
Trial and error. Trial and error.
100%. Yeah, it was back to
Yep.
like the whole thing of like knowing when it's time. Like in the beginning, there was no time limits. It was like let's
Hmm.
continue to run it as much as possible to figure out what anchors with people, what helps them find predictability when it comes to cutting hair. And so I saw that gap in the industry with education that was happening. So that became sort of the starting point. And then we started again facilitating it. And then 2020 happened. And then, like I said, we built out the salon with a studio so that we could start to film stuff because people couldn't come to us.
Hmm.
And during that time, this is part of like that always sort of keep an idea of like what's growing up,
Yeah.
growing around you as you're doing things.
Yeah.
L'Oreal, after I fucking quit with them, which was 2 years after I started my company in 2020, we were all still friends. And so they're just like, Trav, like, you know how to run production now. Would you start running our production during COVID? Like,
That's
and
awesome.
we pay you as a production company. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, okay, what's the name of your production company? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I literally am winging this. Like, what are you
I
talking about?
literally started this in my closet.
Yeah, they're like, well, think of a production name. I'm like, all right, Travis Barker Productions. They're like,
Okay,
sweet, send
cool.
us an invoice. And I'm like, okay. And so
That's
everything
great.
was self-taught on like
Yeah.
the software that I needed to use so that I could bring in speakers and have multiple speakers and digital overlay and run video and all the fucking things that would be
Cool.
necessary and kind of like you would run like a news channel or something like that
Hmm.
or a YouTube channel. I just was like, yo, like I'll just figure it out. And so that started to happen as a totally side thing. Again,
It's
so
like nobody is catching on to this. All of this is like perchance, like I feel like by accident, and you're like, all right, I'll just figure it out. It's cool. Here you go. Like this is phenomenal because I live my life like this too. So
well, here's the story, right? Like, and this is what I always tell people when I'm coaching or whatever. Like, I want you to set a goal. I
yeah.
just don't want you to get fucking stuck on that goal. Like, if your goal is the top of the mountain to your right side right now, or left side, or wherever the fuck it is, like, that's your goal. That's the flag at the top of the mountain that I want you to be moving towards.
Hmm.
But realize that every level that you move from and to is a brand new level.
Yeah.
And you're going to have imposter syndrome because you fucking have
Hmm.
never been there before. And
Yeah.
this is day one of a whole new level. But just know that at that level, laterally, left and right, there are a million things that live at that level, not just your direct path. Your direct path is not a fucking ladder. It's
Mm-mm.
a zigzag up the mountain, right? So
Yep.
as you're moving up to a new level, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. No one does at that stage. Like that's just part of it, right? It's
Hmm.
those that endure that get to the next level. But as you're
Yes.
moving up, sometimes the wind fucking pushes you over here and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Pay attention. Like,
Yeah.
stop fucking trying to move back to where you were before. Just fucking pay
Right.
attention. And then the wind moves you a little bit more, and then you start doing this, and you're like, I had no idea that I was going to find this along my journey. And now
Right.
this has become something that I truly love. And if you would have told me this 10 days ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, I would have
Mm.
been like, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Christine,
Yeah.
if you would have told me I would be doing any of the things that I'm doing right now, I would have been like, you are literally on fucking meth right now. Like, stop doing
So
meth and having a
true.
podcast with me.
It's so true. It's
Sober
so
up and we'll
true.
talk.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
And
All
so
right. That's cool.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and so are you, and
There we
so is
go.
everybody that's listening to this. Just look around you
Yeah.
and be aware and take from everything and see where those little gems are. Like they may
Mm-hmm.
not be hidden where you thought they were. Life
Yep.
provides you with what you need, not necessarily with what you want. And
Yes.
just kind of go with it.
Amen, brother. Okay, so with this, you're like,
Sorry,
oh,
I have
no,
too many
don't even
words.
don't even apologize. So with all of this, like, what has been your favorite learning lesson that you wish just everybody else would just get? You know, because you've been in the beauty industry, great. But now you're at this new level of the industry. So obviously there are lessons that you've learned that you wish like the mailman would understand. You know what I'm saying? Like people who are not in the industry.
Yeah, I think I mean these are great questions. Yeah, I think that one of the things that I mean, I feel like I have a couple answers here. I think that the first thing that comes to mind is grace. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
we have enough grace with
Mm-hmm.
ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that we become impatient and we want to see results based upon our made up timelines, and there's no timeline at all. Like life's a journey again, and
Mm-hmm.
your story will have chapters in it. And so grace and patience along the way, I think is a massive thing if we reposition those words to grit and integrity.
Ooh.
I think that that's, obviously a massive part of it that we can suffer with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we don't give ourselves enough time and we're not willing to grind through things. And sometimes when things become so fucking uncomfortable and so brutal and so painful, we're like, fuck it, I don't want to feel that pain anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we need to, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we just need to know, like I said it earlier, like we didn't die in the last moment when we were growing,
Yeah.
when it was painful and it was brutal, and we're probably not gonna fucking die in this moment either.
Right,
It's not like we're being fucking somebody's holding the fucking knife to our neck. It's just like you're going through a new part of your business development and
Yes.
your life development, and that's just part of the process. I'm 54. And so I now went from a skinny little bitch my whole life to like hit my 50s. And then all of a sudden I got like a stomach, right? And I was like, it's like a potato with like little fucking toothpicks sticking out. It's like Mr. Potato Head with skinny legs and arms. And I'm like, no, no one, no chick's buying this. Like this body is not hot. And so,
Dad
and
bods are
so
on the rise. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I don't know. I'm gonna break up with that shit regardless. And so I hired a trainer in
Okay.
March last year. That guy has changed my life with guidance and intelligence and instruction. But where I'm going with this is that it's a process. Like I have lost 20 pounds since last
Mhm.
March. I've got a training session as soon as we're done. Um, but if I want to think that for a second, I'm going to go from March to fucking April and have the body that I want to have, I am misleading myself based upon my imaginary timeline. Like
Yep.
it is a fucking process and it's a
Hmm.
journey. And it's not just going to the gym and lifting weights.
Yep.
It's also, we all know this, it's also my diet. It's
Hmm.
also everything from my when I go to bed at night to how much sleep I get during the night.
Yeah.
It's everything about when I fucking wake up to going on a walk or looking up towards the sun to kick off what needs to happen in my
Yeah.
brain
Yeah.
to burn off the fucking visceral fat in my stomach. So again, it's not a direct path,
Yeah.
and it's not a thing of like quick results.
Yeah.
Like it's if you want a fucking hack, then you are a hack. And I'm not
Oh,
saying
I like it. Okay. Yeah.
if you're looking for a quick result, I'm not saying it's bad. Like I fucking get it. Like if I
Yeah.
could wave a magic motherfucking wand, I'd have a six pack right now. But that is an instant result. And then where's my journey? Then what happens?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And so everything's a process. And so I just feel like if I could just get everybody to take a fucking breath and just relax and just take it in for a moment and maybe break whatever your pattern is and walk a different direction. Just fucking look around and see what
Yeah.
happens because beautiful things may present themselves.
Yes.
And I'd say if I could say anything to anybody, it would be that. Just, take a breath, have some grace, slow down.
Love it.
And integrity and grit are absolutely part of your journey. And we're stronger
Mm.
than we give ourselves credit for.
Hmm. Yes.
And we're far more
Agreed.
patient than we allow ourselves to be.
Okay.
We are.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
us are. You just got to break the fucking routine. Well, I'm not like you. I'm not like this. I'm not that. You're lucky. That person's fucking this. That person's that. I'm like, bitch, everybody's got a fucking journey.
Yeah.
And it ain't easy for anybody. Like it's fucked up for everybody at
Yeah.
some point. You're just looking at the glittery
The highlight reels.
part of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's just a moment. It's the rest of the days in between. And
Hmm.
that's why I say pick a direction that you enjoy because the process is painful.
Yeah.
So at
It
least
is.
along the way, you're driven by something that you're like happy to be part of.
Yeah. What's your favorite insult that you've ever
Favorite
gotten?
favorite insult.
Yeah.
That's such
Yes.
a rad question. Oh shit. Uh like one that just like got me right in the tummy that just
Yeah. Like it
right to the
just got
heart.
you in the guts, and you're like, I am never gonna feel that again. And it's just like your driver.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty self-driven. I I'm a pretty emotional person, so I have to be careful of how much I read on social media because
Okay.
when people do write shit,
Okay.
sometimes people just write shitty things, right? And so I sometimes I read it and I'm like, ooh, I wish I didn't read that.
You're like,
Um,
man, it's like an instant feeling, isn't it? You're like, oh,
yeah.
why did I
And
do
then
that?
and then I think
Yeah.
about all like when I fly across the country and I see all the humans between here and there and see how many different people there are and and who's in a happy place and who's not in a happy place and I sort of think about that. I'm like, oh, the World Wide Web, like it literally is anybody and
Anybody.
everybody
Yeah.
contributing to my feed that may be paying attention to it or might
Yeah.
just be dropping in for one thing, writing something shitty, then moving on to somebody else's page and writing something shitty. Um, Oh gosh, I don't know. Shit,
You're
nothing
gonna
really
be,
like,
you weren't expecting to get coached today, were you? No.
yeah. I mean, sometimes somebody will write something sort of like snotty and
Yeah.
mean, and I want to write something shitty back. Um,
Self-control.
and then I'll just write like, okay, or I'll just do like an emoji thumbs up. Um,
Thanks. All right,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
I do block people all the time on Instagram though.
Do you really?
A lot. I block people a lot.
If they ever change that to a limit, we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
think they
about it
should.
all the time. Like I block a lot of people too. And I'm like,
Yeah,
they better never ever limit the block amount of people you can block, you know?
yeah. No,
Anyway.
they can't. Like I'll get people that write shitty things. Like I grew up in a very multicultural environment from 0 to
Okay.
16. My dad was in the army, and so I
Cool.
grew up and everybody's family made the same amount of money. I lived on military bases. We had
Mm-hmm.
every color of humans around us.
Love
We
it.
we never thought that anybody was special. Everybody was equal. And
Mm-hmm.
you were either cool or you were a dick. Like it didn't really and nothing else mattered,
Right,
right?
right.
And so I grew up in a really inclusive environment. And so my best friends are everything, right? I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, and
Yeah.
so when anybody writes something racist or anybody sort of slams somebody else down, those are people I immediately block. Um, yeah, when people just write unnecessary comments, I'm like,
Yeah.
you're not my posse. Like, you're
Mm-mm.
out.
Yeah.
And so, and then I'll maybe look at your page just to see like,
Yeah.
is it a real page?
Yeah.
If you got like zero posts, but you're commenting like that, you're out.
Mhm.
If you don't even have a profile photo, you're fucking out.
All
Like
these
anybody that
rules.
doesn't have a
It's
profile
so
photo
true.
that writes something shitty, I'm like, nah, you're hiding behind something. Like you're out.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
yeah. Sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT, I'm like, how do I respond to this? And chat will be
No,
provide
you
me some really
really?
like friendly, like way to respond to it, some diplomatic answer. And then 99% of the time people don't respond back. Here's something that was interesting. And tell me if you've experienced this. So the other day, I'm flying to New York to work with a project, work with Kara Sauce on a project.
Okay.
And on the way, it was when that monkey punch was like
Oh,
becoming this global phenomenon.
oh, poor
And so
baby.
I
Yeah.
reached out to Ryan, my editor guy, and I was like, "Yo, like I'm gonna do a story using Punch, and kind of as this like carousel where I do like a couple different pictures of Punch,
Yeah.
like going through this hard times, and then he discovers hairdressing made easy, and then he
I
finds
love
it on
it.
his
Yes.
computer, and then and then he has one-on-one coaching with me, and then he becomes this very successful, monkey hairdresser. And so Ryan's like, that's ridiculous. And I was like, okay, cool. That means I'm going to do it. And so I'm sitting there on the plane, super slow bandwidth, right? A broadband, and I start making these AI pictures of Punch and I kind of going through this journey. And I'm like, oh, it's so fucking cute. And so I put this whole thing together. It's giving away free education. My first pillar of sorry, I got a little white thing on my shirt.
You fine.
It's this first pillar. The first pillar of my methodology is totally free. Like
Yeah.
you, anybody can download it.
That's what
Any
they get
salon,
when
if
they
you're
follow
listening,
you, right?
yeah,
That's
all
what,
you have to do
okay.
in any one of my comments, because it's
Yeah.
set up with an automation. If you type the
Yeah.
word start in
Yeah.
any comment of any post, it kicks in the automation, and
Yeah.
it will take you right to the landing page, and it's completely free. So if you're looking for education for your salon, and you want a starting point, like a tip off point, cutting course one, which is 6 haircuts, um, and our whole methodology and DNA all for fucking free. Like it's completely free and it's
Hmm.
insane. It's ridiculous. Matter of fact, ChatGPT also told us there's 18,000 ways to combine the theories that we give you in cutting course one to build any haircut on the planet. 18,000 ways. And so
Whoa.
it's teaching you the ingredients of cutting, not 6 haircuts. It's using 6 haircuts as means of inspiration to drive these ingredients. But needless to say,
It's cool.
and so I was like, yo, like, let me do this thing with Punch and it'll be cute. And like, he's popping right now. Maybe it'll sort of like the algorithm will push
Yeah.
it out. Ryan's like, whatever, dude. So I put this out and I think it's cute as shit. I'm like, this is so rad. And I love Little Punch. Like, he's the best. Like, it's like,
It was
I love him.
heartbreaking for me. I was like,
I know it was
oh.
so heartbreaking. And so I put it out and I immediately get these comments with a GIF with like AI and a circle with a line through it. And there's a whole group of people that are 100% anti-AI everything. And I can see it by your eyes. You haven't seen this
I
either.
have not seen this, and that is garbage. I feel like that's a waste of time.
Well, it was wild. It was definitely younger kids, which I love the spirit of youth culture. Like I was an early adapter. I was like a gothic death rock, punk rock, skateboard fucker. And I was like anarchy, everything, right? So I totally love it. Like that's part of my DNA, and I celebrate like people having a place and an opinion. And but at one point this person responded and they're like, this is like a joke. I'm unfollowing you because you're using AI. And so I wrote him back and I said, with all due respect, unfollow me.
Yeah.
I go, I'm
Yeah.
trying to give out free education for our industry to help people be better
Yeah.
and more confident in doing hair.
Yeah.
Like, why is this
Why
so
are you
offensive?
unfollowing me? Like, what? Yeah.
And then I got this whole thing of like, okay, well, it's consuming too much power. You're cutting the artist out of the picture here. It looks like you can afford to pay an artist. And in my head, I'm thinking, I am an artist. I'm trying to allow people to be stronger artists. I'm leveraging AI to give me a superpower to promote something that hopefully gives out our content to more people.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is one for me individually. I was like, this is one post of 5 that I'm going to do today. Like, it's really like the way we produce content is so
Right.
rapid. Like if I was to pay an artist 30 grand to fucking give me 6 photos of punch at me, like it would be much more of an investment on the whole process. This was just
Yeah.
like disposable content.
Yeah.
But did you know that about
I had no
there's a
idea.
whole group of
I
people that are like, don't use, you're an asshole if you use AI. And I was
oh,
like, oh,
excuse me, because me personally, I have been resisting AI and I've been using it lately. Now I feel really guilty about it. Thanks.
I
But
don't.
I had no idea that there was like a whole anarchy group against AI. I knew that there was a trend that you need to be more authentic because people are getting sick of seeing the fake news, the fake
Yeah.
AI and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, I can be authentic. Not a problem. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And
I was,
all you wanted to do was be like, this is punching me.
I
Like
had
that's
no,
it. Like it wasn't anything.
I had no idea. I was so caught off guard. I was like, oh shit, like I've offended people. And I was really,
You're like this
I had
monkey.
no idea. I was like, yo, like I'm
That's
sorry. Like
incredible.
I didn't even think about it. And I use it all day. It's a superpower for me. I use it all day long to help me think of ideas, and I feed it with things and it helps me organize it.
My mom
Um,
uses it to decorate the house. And I'm like, what are you doing? Put that
yeah,
away. You're an
I
artist. Stop
that's
it.
it. That's a great idea. I
You're
was up at my
welcome.
mom's last week and I took a picture of the front of her house because she's like, I think I want to change the color of my house. And so I took a picture of the front of the house and I threw it in a chat and I'm like, give me some different put yourself in the position of like an expert at Sherwin-Williams paints or some paint place. And I was
Nice.
like, and make it tone on tone sort of suggestions and variations of creams and browns and olive greens and things like that. And a minimum of 2 colors to 3 colors for all the colors together and
Right, right,
trims and
right.
stuff like that. Give me some suggestions. And it was
Love it.
unbelievable for us to, I mean, she didn't paint her house yet, but it was unbelievable
You
for us
have
to
the
use it in that
idea.
way to kind of
Yeah.
do things like that, just to sort of see it. But I don't know if that cuts somebody's job. I
I
don't
know.
know. I know
I don't know how to feel.
unemployment right now between 18 and 25 is they're saying is, at an all-time low. They're saying that first-time jobs, like startup jobs after college, are lower than people that haven't gone to college right now. That AI has taken startup jobs and sort of like first-time jobs, period. And so there's
That's
a
crazy.
lot that is definitely happening with humanity in regards to AI replacing humans, but I know for a fact it's not going to go away.
It's not
I
going
know
away.
for a fact that we just have to learn how to like collaborate with it. Like part of our job as humans is to understand, okay, what does that look like with it and me working together?
Yeah.
And the collaboration of you and it are obviously what's going to happen. So,
No, it's not going away.
yeah.
I watched the movie Wall-E and everybody was fat. And I was like, I'm not
Oh
getting
yeah, that's
fat.
right.
I'm gonna
That whole
go and
part.
do my I'm not gonna give in to Wall-E. No. So
Yeah.
there's my background story with that.
Dude,
So
and I remember that and I was like, "Oh shit, like that could happen
yeah,
someday." And then I'm like, "Yeah, it probably won't happen." But that was
boom, it's
before my
here.
brain could even conceive,
Right.
AI. And what it's doing right now is it's dumbfounding. I was with my buddy like, 2 nights ago. We went to a concert, grabbed some dinner beforehand, and he was the person that developed the AI division of Snapchat. And then he used to work
Cool.
with Steve Jobs on, yeah, he's a fucking badass.
Cool.
And he used to work with Steve Jobs when Steve was alive during the Apple Newton days, which was the
Yeah.
first tablet.
Yeah.
And then he runs the AI department for Qualcomm now, and
Okay.
they're working on all the Meta glasses and Google glasses and all the fucking glasses. And he was telling me the other day, he's like, fuck, dude, I just like was at this convention the other day, and he's like, and I know about this stuff. I work at the highest level with this stuff. And he goes, I was literally fucking blown away. He's like, the rate that it's evolving right now is unbelievable,
Astounding. Whoa.
astounding. That's a perfect word for it. And he was showing me this thing the other night where he's developing the chime that your Meta glasses will make when you're like, "Hey Meta," and your glasses go
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
ding, and then it's like, "Yeah, what up?" Or then you go on your next thing. Like he was figuring out what that little sound's going to be. And so he fed it into Anthropic's Claude the other day, and they work with a different version of it than what we would work with.
Sure.
And he's like, "Hey, look, I need to think of this sound. I want it to be sort of like this or like that or whatever the fuck he said." And he speaks code, so his instructions are probably
It's
like on a whole
genius.
different level than yours or mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Claude goes, "Well, would you like me to create like software that allows you to test different sounds?" And so Pierre goes, "Yeah." And so it spit up. Here, let me show you right now. I made him text it to me the other day. Um, he, I'm not even joking. So it spit up and tell me if you can see this.
Yes,
So
I can see
it
it.
gave him this software that is in like the app itself, which he uses the desktop for it,
Holy
that allowed him to
cow.
create four different sounds and then a whole equalizer below it that did different functions with it. And this was just a command. He's like, "Yeah, can you help me create this sound?" And it's like, "Well, why don't I create a whole mixer for you?" And so it was a software mixer specific for
To
him
that.
just to do this. And so when you start seeing stuff like that, and it allows you to have this ability to code and create software immediately,
Yeah. That's
there's
other
no fighting
level.
anything
It's
like that.
crazy the time
There's no
the
fighting it.
time period
You
we're
got to
living
join
in.
forces. Yeah, you kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the resistance, but yeah,
Star Wars The Resistance. Anyway, nerd
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
So
I mean, I like all that stuff. I like nerdy stuff. So for me,
I
I'm
I'm
always
all
like,
about it. We're gonna join the
yeah.
resistance and it's
I
gonna
mean, my
be
new consulting company, I'm 100% all over AI right now. And like, okay, like, how should we position this? How
yeah.
many times should we put LinkedIn's going to be our really our vehicle to network with more CEOs and
Mm,
L&D departments and marketing departments and sales departments and executives at those levels
this is so
versus
cool.
IG or TikTok
Yeah.
or even YouTube. And so how many posts should we make a day? What should be topics that are pain
Mm,
points? How should we attack this? You know, and then have it help us build the website and all that stuff. So yeah, we're
wow.
all in on that. But then I'll have to physically, part of my thing is public speaking. And so I'll have to physically be at these different conferences on stage
Mm-hmm.
speaking. So it's not like I'm taking me out of it.
Right.
I'm just using it to help me network and connect with an audience in a way that expedites the process and maybe even makes it a bit more professional and high level.
Yeah. So time is gone, but
Sorry.
we no, no, it's fine. So
I'm like, we need two podcasts.
we totally we covered a lot. So what was a question that I did not ask you that you wish I did, and how would you have answered?
Mm, that's great. Um, I think one thing that I still wrapping my head around is what what does the future look like for hairdressing?
Mm,
And I think it's a valid question. And I think it plays right into where we just left off, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
And what I want all of my friends to think that are listening to this, and any hairdresser that I haven't had the opportunity to spend time with yet, is what does tomorrow look like in regards to our industry, how you're connecting with clients, um, how you're showing up as an expert, and where are you sourcing this information from? And exactly what we said before, I believe, and this is just my belief, nearly nothing more, and based upon my what I've sort of paid attention to, is that it's a collaborative between us and AI. And so
Mm-hmm.
uh, education is going to be more than just a 45-second reel. So how do we source education? You're going to have access to all the information. But just like the consulting groups that I was talking about earlier in the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know how to implement that information in education, you may want to think about a coach. So having an analog coach, a real person, might be a compliment. and using AI for augmented reality. So, taking a picture of your client's face and trying different hair
Mm,
colors, trying different lengths. Um, but that won't take away from really reading a person's body language and energy. So, understanding when you are showing them pictures or interfacing with AI, see their energy and
yeah.
understand when their eyes light up based upon ideas or visuals. And so I think that there is a collaborative that needs to happen there as well. What I think we need to truly be aware of as hairdressers is we move forward in the
Yeah.
next 10 years to 20 years here is the fact that AI will be replacing first-time jobs.
Mm,
And where that impacts the hair industry is that at if first-time jobs are people that are not making as much money as somebody that's more of a veteran in their career, you know, just
right.
obviously.
Right.
And so for salons that are less expensive or at a lower price point, your client may be losing their job and going through a massive rehaul on what their
Mm,
career is. And so
yeah.
can they afford you if they don't have a job? And so, what their evolution will be in their world is unknown, but
Yeah.
it will impact us financially and economically in a massive way. And we're going to see a radical shift. And where hairdressers fall in the line of just like getting your nails done or home
Hmm.
services that can be done at home, any other thing like your nails or your feet
Yeah.
or your hair. I mean, look how many fucking hair videos I react to of people cutting their own hair.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
very okay with shitty haircuts that they've done
Yeah.
themselves at home.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they got some rad power tools to like hide shitty haircuts. So,
Yeah, they do.
and so where does that leave our industry if our clients can't afford us? Is the full sort of circle on
That's
that. And I
powerful.
think that
Yeah.
that is something that I think that we all need to be aware of because I get a lot of people when I do AI videos going, oh, they'll never take our job. And I'm like, yeah, but if we lose the client that can't afford you,
Right.
do you have a
Right.
job?
Right. They won't take it. You'll just lose it.
And so I'm not saying
Wow.
hairdressing is going away, but again, our demographic, our audience is
Yeah.
going to be impacted radically with humanity is going to be impacted by this radically. So
Yes.
what we need to do is be proactive. What we need to do is think about it all. And what we need to think about is truly being the best expert that we can possibly be and put the things in place that allow us to fucking show up. Because if you're fucking running off mediocrity and you're okay with fucking average, you're replaceable. 100%.
Oof. Yes.
A
Oh,
100%. I'm
Travis.
sorry for all the tender ears out there.
No, this is the point. Like truth hurts and this is what we need to know and we need to hear and holy crap. That's great. Travis, thank you for coming on the Beauty Pro podcast.
Oh my God. Love you. Love this. Love it. And I love everybody listening to this right now. So
Yeah.
stay strong. Let's stay together. For everybody that I can support, please reach out to me.
Yes, all of his contact information is going to be in the show notes, in the caption. Go follow him, go reach out. Oh my goodness. Until next time. Thank you for being here.
Love it. Let's go. Let's go, hairdressers. We got this. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thanks. Absolutely.